BSR Nation. Welcome to Everland, home of the Ponderosa. I thought I would go live this morning because I haven't been able to really access my photos on my Instagram account for the past, I would say, about 5 days now. So I decided to go ahead and give you guys an update on what's going up down here. So the Ponderosa is doing well, with the exception of the vegetables that I planted did not germinate. None of my vegetable seeds germinated this year. I think I probably told you about the biolab fire that we had last year. So none of my, well, not many anyway, not many of my vegetables seeds germinated. The only thing that's doing really well, the only things that are doing very well are the herbs. That's basil right there. And then of course the wild things that I have growing out here all the time. Holy basil, I have it everywhere. Okay, my bananas are doing so well. That's one of the pups. I have about, I believe I counted at least 10 other banana pups that need to come off. I went to the big box store since I couldn't get any satisfaction out of any of the seeds that I planted. I ain't get no satisfaction. Okay, so these starts are doing pretty okay. I only have one squash, and I'm going to take it off. Not right now, but real soon. I'm going to take that off so that these plants can concentrate on these. If these indeed are, oh my goodness, these might not even be this might not be the flower that produces the fruit. Actually, there's a male and a female flower that comes on these, and only one of the types of flowers is the one that the fruit comes off of. Both of them work together, but anywho, my citrus, it did indeed drop most of its flowers. So I have one orange. I'm working on one orange. And I have a handful of calamundins. Okay? But what I find very fascinating is that although the traditional fruit and the traditional vegetables that I planted did not produce anything as yet for me, it never fails. Things like this are plentiful in the yard, and things like this, of course, that's the mint. All the herb gardens, they took off. They came to complete fullness way before the summer even started. So that gave me pause last night. I looked into it to see, what is this? What is this, man? So I found out. This is called Pedra. This is actually edible, and it's medicinal. This is similar to it is similar to the fish mint in that it can be used for many things, one of which is digestive issues. And also, it can be used for, and this is growing in, I did not plant this. It's growing in a bucket that I planted something else in, as I said, something else, alas, that did not germinate. And there's a rose in there. Who'd have thunk it? Lord. So after finding out that this has a very good purpose, I decided let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Oh, let it be. Oh, let it be. See? All right. Oh, something else that always does really well, and I never knew what this was, is this out here. Unfortunately, the deer got to it, and it had chomped it all down. So I decided this. Holy, this big one. Last year it was over there. Okay, it was big. There was a big one just like that. But this year it didn't pop up as big over there, but it's over here. So go figure. I don't know. And then there's one other. There is one other. Um, there's one other plant out here that I want to find, that I found out that you can definitely eat it. So since all my weeds are doing so much better than the traditional plants that I planted, I decided, why don't I just well, not just, why don't I start paying attention to some of these wild things out here in the wild, out here that grow wild. Oh, and if you see the cord, excuse it, but as you can see, I'm not doing yard work and it is not plugged up, but it is there for now. Oh, okay. So that's what's basically happening around here. Oh, and I have tons of tadpoles, which is good because they definitely keep down the mosquito population. Yes, I thought about start selling tadpoles because I have so many. Used to be able to buy these at the Orange big box store. Yes, they used to sell pond equipment, and they did sell tadpoles back in the days, but they don't anymore. That's my marker. This is a pinwheel that tells me how fast the wind is blowing, and also it tells me where not to go. Where not to go. It's way back there. Wait a minute. Way back there. And I think they own a restaurant, and I hope that I meet them eventually and find out where the restaurant is. I hear them sometimes on Sundays playing mariachi music. They have a mariachi band playing, and they're clearing a lot of their land in their backyard, and they don't really have any neighbors, but I really hope to meet them. Yeah. But I sit out here and enjoy the music. And if it's them who is cooking all that great, delicious smelling food, I just sit out here and wish I were there. Okay, I digress. Take you guys back over here. Oh, so it's been really, really hot and dry this summer. Until recently, we've been getting a lot of rain, like sporadic rain. It'll be just like this. The sky will look like that, or no clouds at all. Then suddenly, a big bluish gray cloud will cover the sun, and next thing you know, the whole sky opens up. But I came up with a solution. My solution for if when it's really, really, really hot, and when it's really, really hot, this ponderosa actually drops at least, I would say, 4 inches, four plus inches. I use those rocks over there at the bottom. That's my pace car, because those rocks right there, that's about, well, that's about 4 or 5 inches, 4 or 5 inches going down to the pond. So I know if this water drops all the way to the last row, I know that that's how fast, or that's the evaporation level. So I came up with an idea. Since I have a natural pond right there, and I do have extra pumps like the ones I'm running the waterfalls. Those pumps are in there. I took one of the extra old pumps that I'm not using, and I tied her down, hooked her to a rope, tied down her cord right over there, and I dropped it right down there. So when I need water, turn on the pump, it goes through the hose right there, and it goes right into the old ponderosa, and it fills it back up. And I figure that's the least I can do right now, since I do believe that the trouble I'm having issue, and I have not been made whole as yet. Remember, all my fish died, and several trees, including a mature Japanese maple at my front door, and it also affected the wildlife in my area. And I do believe that it poisoned my soil, or at least the soil. Even those container gardens right there, they were outside during that whole incident. And usually I definitely have at least a handful of figs on those 2 fig trees, but this year nothing. Nothing. No fig, nothing. And also the banana plant that was, I do believe it was going to give me fruit this season. That one is right there, and it's dying back. So it didn't even give me leaves this year. But fortunately, it put off these pups, so I still at least have a banana grove right there. And then there's a banana grove right there. That hopefully that one will be as tall as this one next year. But yeah, that's how I'm doing it. That's how I'm getting down here. I fill her up. So I don't go back to the grid. I don't take the water from the pipe, and I get it from here, And this is crystal clear water. I would show it to you. Mm, hmm. I would go over there and show it to you, but my service is not that great down here. And by the time I get over there, it'll probably cut off. But that water, when it comes out of this hose, is just as crystal clear as that. And that, you see how clear that water is? And that. And also, so it's just as clear, but I do not recommend, just going over there and taking a swig from the hose, because there are too many variables coming out of that live stream down there. Alas, with all these pumps on here, if the shizzle ever really hits the fizzle worse than it already has down here, can't imagine anything worse though than a biolab exploding and catching on fire and lasting over 2-3 months. But if it does hit the fan, I'll just, don't forget I have another pump right here. It's not on right now, but it's right there. And it's hooked up to what I call R2D2, which is right under that Japanese maple. He's a bad mother. Shut your mouth. He's a biofilter. But unfortunately, I didn't have him on. See it right down there. But he filters everything. He gets everything out. He uses ultraviolet rays as well to kill. Not to kill everything, but to kill everything that I do not want in the ponderosa or my bate. But as I was saying, if the shizzle ever really hits the fizzle, um, the water, I would say the safest water, if you don't have anything to boil it on, which I do, I have plenty of ways to boil the water right out here. But I would feel very confident if I had to drink some water. I would feel confident with this one right there, because the water in this ponderosa is being filtered once, twice, 3 times, maybe. No, really, 3 times, really. And this would be the fourth and the cleanest filtration without boiling it. Okay, so I think that's all I wanted to say. Oh, I did want to say also, since I have all of these wild edible herbs growing out here, I decided to look for other things. I do have, there is a plant out here, and I'm trying to think. It might be a thin leaf plantain, which is, of course, obviously, just the opposite of this. But it does have, it shoots off these like tubers, or rather, not tubers, but it shoots off these. It's like, it looks sort of similar to asparagus, and it's edible. So I looked up the recipe. That's what I'm looking to identify. I know it's out here. I've seen it before. I've just been plucking it out and throwing it in the good old ponderosa. I mean, the throwing it over. I don't really throw stuff in the stream, but when I throw things over there, I throw it on the. I throw it on this woo, on this ravine, because I want to try to keep it shored up right down there and to stop the erosion. So things that are biodegradable, I just put it right. I put those things, I can show it to you, right along there to stop any potential erosion. And I have had the county out here, the water and sewage management, and they've come out here and I showed them what I'm doing. They pat me on the back and gave me a lollipop and told me I'm doing a great job and to keep up the great work because it will help. Mm, there's some more of that plant that I was sharing with you. Chanca pedra. It has several names, but that's the only one I can remember. Chanca pedra. So the other plant that I'm looking for out here, I'm looking to find out if I have wild moringa. I thought this was, I really thought this was a moringa, but it isn't. So I'm going to keep on looking. Keep on pushing. Anyway, here's some more edibles that I have. I have wild yams, and I have wild muscadines. But because of the poison from the biolab, these none of these muscadines produced any grapes this year. Also, you know, if you have been a member of our YouTube community for a while, you know that I actually have a whole wall. Let me get closer so you can see where I'm pointing. You know, I have